Hello everybody, this is Matador from freetradingvideos.com. It's the 25th of February 2010, about 8:45 Eastern Standard Time, and stock futures are lower amidst a whole bunch of news. One of them, looking at Yahoo Finance here, U.S. stock index futures are falling after rating agencies said they may downgrade Greece's sovereign debt, reigniting concerns over possible defaults in the Eurozone. Oil is also below 80. Royal Bank of Scotland loses $5.5 billion in 2009. I could go on and on. So being careful here with the economic news and global news, and you can see this consolidation here right around our 110 mark. Again, this is just the S&P 500 ETF. I say just lightly. It's a great one. So bouncing, and then all of a sudden, even pre-market here, nice break. And so if you look at a higher time frame now, that is right back into a level of support again, you can see this group of stocks back here, 109.66, 109.67, that whole area there, and that's where we're gapping down into this morning. If we were to open right now, we could head much lower pre-market here, but anyway, right now that's where we would be. On an even higher time frame than that, you can see how important this 109.76/66 area is. This whole thing down here is also a gap fill. It was important from before, and again, that's what we're testing yet again. So, good sell-off, great 100% retracement, at least of the big move down, but still just a little bit better than 50% retracement of that move, and now it's selling off again. So if we do open here, we're going to be watching this gap fill very keenly, see if it does fill, and if it does, we'll look for a higher swing low. If it does not completely fill and starts rolling over, that'll be a beginning of a head and shoulders pattern here with pre and post market data included, and that's not going to be something that we want to necessarily be long into. So again, just grain of salt, but a lot of good information can be gleaned from price action. So one thing we talked about yesterday was stock. Again, Procter & Gamble, PG. It's not for me to tell people what to trade. This is just an idea for educational purposes. What this guy did, though, exactly what we were looking for. Very nice move above the highs here. So 63-67 area that we talked about. Worked its way back up there in a nice controlled manner. Broke out. That even became support then at that area, and that's a great move for a trade. This morning, mid-market pressures. We are gapping down with the broad market. It's in the Dow 30. Again, not nearly good enough to be in our V newsletter, all of our discretionary work there, but for educational purposes and stock pattern work is pretty good. And but anyway, nice move for this particular stock. It's a bit of a slower mover. On a higher time frame, you can see why that area was so significant. So good stuff. This morning I was looking for some other ideas here, but HPQ, again, just taking ideas from the Dow 30. Again, rarely good enough to be on our list for the V newsletter, but this guy, if you look at a higher time frame, is a little bit stronger than the broad market. So take a look at the S&P 500. You see how he's chopping around below the 50 MA. Good resistance at 112. And in Hewlett-Packard, it actually held up a little bit better in a tighter, higher consolidation. So if we get a move above this 51 area, move up into the 52 area where it failed this symmetrical triangle back here, might give us that might be a good little trade. So seems a little bit unlikely this morning that we might get above 51, especially on the broad market pressure. But I'll be putting that in a list and watching that, and that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Again, that's sort of, in one way, how we rip apart stocks in the V newsletter, is taking those apart and going even deeper information about how and why and what I'm looking at, and D7 as well. So anyway, that's a pretty good one, at least technically. You can watch the broad market, watch the tick and trend and VIX and all the other market internals, and make sure that any moves that you see this morning, especially, you have good confirmation with those guys. So good stuff, everybody. I'll talk to you around noon, see how things are shaping up, and trade well.